I'm 32, male, and I poured years of hard work into the family business, only to be treated like a kid doing chores for pocket money. Except the boss was my own father. I finally reached my breaking point and made a move that turned their world upside down. They never saw it coming. My dad runs a blue-collar business, gritty, not fancy, but it brings in decent money, enough for him to act like a small-town business guru. He loves to boast about building it from the ground up, as if I wasn't the one out there sweating while he sat in his office, pretending to understand financial reports. Here's the real sting. My older brother is his golden child, armed with a business degree from some mid-tier college, and suddenly he's the heir apparent. I'm not kidding. The guy barely passed economics, and Dad acted like it was a Nobel Prize-worthy achievement. Meanwhile, I've been on the front lines since I was 17, fixing problems, cleaning up messes, doing the real work. And what do I get? A pat on the back and a good job, kid. No real reward, no voice, just keep grinding. Dad's been prepping my brother to take over since forever, not even hiding it. I was in the room when he flat out told me, "You'll never run this place. You're better with a wrench than with big decisions." Said it with a straight face, like I'm some knuckle-dragger who can't handle an email. It didn't even hurt anymore. I just stared, thinking, really? Not even a shred of respect. I asked if there was any role for me when he retires, a small stake, anything to show I wasn't invisible. He gave me this condescending nod and said, "You'll get something when I'm gone." Translation, wait for me to die and maybe you'll get a rusty toolbox. Thanks, Dad. My brother just sat there, smirking like he'd hit the jackpot, not saying a word to back me up. Typical golden child. Always has been. Since we were kids, he got the bigger room, the new bike, fewer chores, lighter punishments. He could do no wrong. Once he left the garage open and raccoons trashed everything. Somehow I got blamed for not double-checking. Another time, he smashed Dad's truck into a tree in the driveway, and I got chewed out for not warning him about wet pavement. Like I'm supposed to be his personal meteorologist. Meanwhile, I'm labeled the reckless one because I took a year off college, not to slack off, but to work a real job fixing HVAC systems, learning skills that actually mattered. To Dad, though, that was betrayal. One gap year and I'm forever the wild card, constantly hit with snide remarks about following through or sticking to the plan. But when my brother got caught plagiarizing an entire college essay, Dad called it thinking outside the box. If he burned the house down, Dad would have praised his innovative approach to fire management. I wasn't the rebel kid. I was the one they ignored unless something broke, then suddenly I was the only one who could fix it. My brother got applause just for existing. I had to bleed for a nice work once a year. That meeting was the final straw. Dad laid out his big succession plan, complete with a fancy title and office for my brother. I barely asked, if there was a spot for me, not half the business, just something to show I mattered. And I got. "You'll get something when I'm gone." So yeah, after that gut punch of being told I'm basically a temp with the family name, I was done. Went home, sat in my truck for half an hour, just staring at the dashboard, kicking myself for giving them so many years. I carried that shop through every crisis. Tight deadlines, broken equipment, useless hires. I was the guy they called when things went south, and all I got was attitude and second-class treatment. The next day, I typed up a 2-week notice. No fuss, no rant, just I'm out. Handed it to Dad during lunch like it was his mail. He barely looked at it, just said, "This about what I said yesterday?" I shrugged. "Nah, just time to move on." He hit me with, "Good luck, but you won't make it without me and your brother." I actually grinned, the audacity. He genuinely believed I'd crash without him breathing down my neck or my brother screwing things up next to me. "No, are you sure?" "No, let's talk." Just a smug ego trip and back to his sandwich. That said it all. I was never more than a spare part to him. I kept showing up for those 2 weeks, not for them, but to leave clean. My brother barely acknowledged me, probably thinking I'd crawl back. Then Jard, our biggest client's rep, stops by asking if I can take a job next week. I tell him, "Can't, I'm gone." He's shocked, says, "Wait, what?" I keep it vague, say it's personal. Didn't want to sound like I was whining, even though I was screaming inside. He goes, "You're the only guy we ask for." Yeah, I knew that. They always wanted me, not my brother, not the degree guy, me because I got things done. He asked if I had another job lined up. I said no, which was true. I figured I'd freelance or take a break. My skills aren't exactly common, but I'd sort it out. That should have been it, me fading out quietly, moving on, but someone else had other plans. Next morning, I walk into the shop and Dad's at his desk, acting like nothing's changed. Doesn't even look up. I say good morning and he goes, still showing up on time after quitting. "That's new." Real classy, acting like I used to stroll in late when I was the one opening the place half the time because he couldn't get up before 9. I was there for me, not him, tying up loose ends, leaving no room for them to say I bylaid. I hit the shop floor and half the morning crew's standing around because the delivery truck wasn't loaded last night. My brother was supposed to handle it since I was stepping back. He didn't. Now the order's late and the client's fuming. Guess who jumps in to fix it? Me again. While I'm hauling pallets to save their reputation, my brother waltzes in with a cold brew, acting like a boss. "Let's make sure this doesn't happen again," he says in that fake I'm in charge tone. I shoot back, "Maybe load it yourself next time instead of passing it off to nobody." He blinks, says nothing, and slinks off to review numbers, which means scrolling LinkedIn. At lunch, Dad calls me into his office, looking like he's about to guilt-trip me. He starts with, "I've thought about your choice to leave, and I'm prepared to bump your pay." I raise an eyebrow. "How much?" he says. $1.50 an hour, like he's handing me the keys to a yacht. I laughed, couldn't stop myself. "That's what you think I'm worth," he frowns, says. "It's a solid rate. Most guys your age don't make that." I'm not most guys. I'm the one your top client requests by name, the one who trained your staff, the one who made you look competent while you watched car rebuild videos. I didn't say that, just stood up, said, "I'm good," and walked out. Next day, chaos. Jard shows up at 10 a.m. already irritated. He'd been told the install was on track. It wasn't. My brother fed him a fake update because he didn't want to admit he forgot to order mounting hardware. Classic. Jard spots me and heads over. "Why's nothing ready for the Vantry job?" I point to my brother, who's Googling industrial brackets on his phone like a rookie. "Ask the new manager, I'm just watching now." Jard asks, "You're really out?" I nod. "Friday's my last day." He asks where I'm headed. I shrug, no plans yet. "Might chill for a bit." He pauses like I just told him the world's ending. "You're the only reason we stuck with this contract." Felt good to hear that. Then the game changer hits. Jard's boss, a sharp guy in a suit, shows up. Watches the floor for 10 minutes, then pulls me aside. "Ever thought about leading your own team?" I'm thrown. "Like freelance?" He shakes his head. "No, full-time in-house. We're looking to bring this operation internal, but we need someone who knows the work and can handle people. You come highly recommended." I'm floored. Hadn't even job hunted, and this guy's offering me a gig on the spot. He tells me to think it over, throws out a rough salary, way more than I've ever made, plus benefits, an office, and equipment budget. I didn't say yes right away. I had 2 days left and wasn't giving Dad the satisfaction of me bailing early. But my mind was already halfway out the door. That afternoon, Dad sees me chatting with Jard and his boss, gives me a look like I'm slacking, but says nothing. I could have told him they're offering me a real future while he's tossing me pennies, but I just smiled back. That night, I sat at home with a soda, staring at my phone, not even scrolling, just thinking. They didn't know it yet, but they were about to learn what happens when the spare walks away. And this time, I wasn't turning back. Friday, my last day, I showed up early to finish one final job. The Vantry order was still a mess, and I was the only one who knew where anything was. Could have let it crash, but I don't half-ass things tied to my name. I leave clean. Dad didn't say a word, no thanks, no handshake, just walked past me like I was a ghost. My brother spent the day botching a client call, throwing out vague terms like standard timeline. Standard. Like the job that took 3 extra days because he didn't measure right. Around noon, Jard and his boss show up again. This time, no clipboard, just a folder and a grin. "Got a minute?" I wipe my hands, nod, and follow them to the parking lot. His boss hands me a written offer, 3-year contract, a salary that almost made me choke, bonuses, benefits, my own budget, an office with a mini fridge, and authority to hire 2 techs. I signed it right there on my truck's hood. No hesitation. They made it clear I was disposable. Now they'd see what happens when I take their biggest client with me. I didn't steal anyone. Jard came to me. They needed someone who could deliver, and I was it. I walked back in, offer in hand, didn't hide it or flaunt it, just tucked it in my locker. Then I did the pettiest thing I've ever done, and I'm not even sorry. I cleared out my locker, tools, mug, gloves, everything, but left my Employee of the Quarter plaque from 5 years ago on my brother's desk. He's never earned one, thought it'd look nice there now that he's in charge. Right before I left, Dad finally approached, looking annoyed. "So you're really doing this?" he said. I blinked. "Doing what? Leaving? Taking the client?" I smiled. "I didn't take anyone, they offered. You said I wasn't a leader, they disagreed." He started to speak, but I cut him off. "You made your choice, Dad. You wanted one son to run things and one to take orders. Looks like the order taker got a better offer." I walked out, didn't wait for a reply. By Monday, I'm in my new office. AC, my name on the door, new tools, assigned parking. The two guys I hired show up on time, eager, no attitude. It felt strange being valued. Jard checked in midweek, shook my hand, said, "Glad we got you." I nodded. "You got the best deal, trust me." Meanwhile, word from the old shop started trickling in. A buddy texted, "They're falling apart without you, can't even wire a job right." Another said my brother told a client they could wing it on a 5-figure project. Dad tried calling Jard's boss to smooth things over, blamed me for stirring trouble, got hung up on mid-sentence. They're sinking, and I'm thriving, reviewing orders with my feet up. Revenge didn't need shouting or lawsuits. I just left, took the piece they never valued, and let them feel the weight of their choices. And I don't feel bad. They set the rules, I just played them better. Less than a week into my new job, I get a LinkedIn message from Randy, a tech from Dad's shop. "You won't believe what's going down," he says. I reply, "Try me." He sends a novel, 2 more clients bylaid, not my doing, but because my brother botched a quote and misread specs for another job, showing up with the wrong gear. One client kicked them off the site. The Vantry job I saved? They delivered it without brackets because my brother assumed the client had them. They had to eat the cost, lost money, and it spooked another client into shopping around. Dad's telling everyone I sabotaged the order files. Nope, just my brother's incompetence. At my new gig? Paradise. Comfy chair, working AC, decent coffee. My 2 guys, Sam and Hector, actually listen, and one's got experience from a rival firm. We're crushing our first project so fast the client moved the deadline up. Then Friday, my uncle calls, Dad's older brother, the one who co-signed their loan years ago. He's calm but says, "Good move leaving. Your dad never gave you your due, we all saw it." First time anyone in the family said it out loud. He mentioned Dad begged him for financial help in a meeting, down 3 clients, cash flow shot. Uncle told him, "This is what happens when you bet on one kid and ignore the one carrying the load." He even offered to back me if I want to expand my operation later. Wild. Monday, Lena, the front desk girl from Dad's shop, messages me. She's quitting, wants to know if I'm hiring. My brother tried pinning a client loss on her, claiming she forgot to confirm a delivery when he deleted the email chain. Tried to write her up to cover his tracks. They're down another employee. Then Jard sends a screenshot of an email from Dad to his boss, accusing me of stealing the client and demanding compensation for employee misconduct. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my phone. I didn't poach anyone, they came to me. Jard's boss replied, "We don't negotiate with incompetence." Glorious. By Wednesday, Randy says they're quietly laying off workers, starting with 2 install guys, including the one who trained my brother. Poetic, I should feel something. Regret, maybe? Nope. They made me feel like nothing. Now they're the ones being replaced, and I didn't even have to try. The hits kept coming. Jard shows me an email chain from a subcontractor and clients who dropped Dad's firm, now reporting them for fraud. My brother sent inflated invoices, 20 to 30% markups, padded hours, without approval. One was a government contract. They're under investigation and a client's auditing every invoice from the past year. All post me, all on him. Then Adam, the new front desk guy, calls, panicked. IRS showed up with agents, a lawyer, and a thick clipboard. Wanted Dad for inconsistent reporting, funneling payments through shell accounts, some in my late mom's name, and dodging payroll taxes. My brother called it a routine check. Sure, Adam quit mid-sentence, didn't even log out of his email. And get this, Dad tried to blame me, saying I set up those accounts. Insane, I never touched the books. A mutual contact tipped me off that Dad's claiming I leaked info to competitors. From just the muscle to mastermind. Jard's boss shut it down, said they're grasping at straws. By week's end, 3 more clients filed complaints. My brother tried a public statement, 35 seconds of stammering nonsense on Facebook. Someone commented, "Why's he blinking like a hostage?" I nearly died laughing. Meanwhile, I'm eating takeout in my stress-free office, watching them torch their own business. No pity. They chose their star, let him fumble, and now they're paying for it. Then they showed up at my office, a knock on the glass. Dad and my brother looking like they're barely holding it together. Brother's sweating. Dad's got that fake calm he wears when he's about to lie. I buzz them in, lean back, and sip my coffee. "Nice setup," Dad says, eyeing the place. I don't bite. Silence is my weapon. "We were hoping to talk," he adds, clearing his throat. I point to the chairs. They sit awkward as hell. Brother starts, "Things got messy, mistakes happened, but we're trying to move forward, fresh start." I nearly choke. "Mistakes like the fraud probe, fake invoices, shell accounts. Or blaming me? Dad winces, brother flinches. We thought we could handle it, Dad says. Things spiraled. I lean forward. You're not handling anything. Your company's under investigation, accounts frozen, equipment outdated, and your best workers are gone. Silence. We're trying to avoid bankruptcy, brother mutters. We hoped you'd help. I smile, slow and sharp. Help how? Dad perks up. We're offering you a leadership role, full control. I bite back a laugh. Control of a sinking ship. Under investigation, losing clients, you think that's a prize? Brother squirms. You're our only shot. I pause, let it sink in. You remember what you told me a year ago, Dad, when I asked for a piece? He looks away. You said I'd get something when you're dead, so what's different? You're still breathing. He snaps, don't be petty, this is serious. I stand, walk to the window, look at my crew working smoothly. My world, my rules. You called me selfish, I say quietly. Said I wasn't a leader, gave your golden boy the crown and told me to scrub floors. Now your plan's failing and you want the guy you ignored to save you. No response. You made this mess, I say. Now you want the guy you tossed aside to clean it up. You don't deserve it. Brother tries. You don't have to fix it, just a loan, a contract, referrals. I cut him off. Stop. You came here thinking I'd save you. I could. I've got the cash, the connections, the power, but I won't. Their faces crash. You tried to erase me, then blamed me when it fell apart. You don't get to rebuild on my back. Dad starts to speak. I don't let him. I didn't build this to bail out people who buried me. You can go now. They sit, stunned, then stand, no fight left. Brother looks back. You really won't help? I meet his eyes. I helped by leaving. They walk out, no words, just the click of the door. I sat there after, not gloating, just existing. It wasn't revenge, not exactly. It was about standing in a place where their approval didn't matter. I built something without them. That's what hurt them most. The black sheep became the wolf, and now I lead the pack.